Hi there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. Happy Wednesday, happy Facebook Live Day. And gosh, let me think, it is June the 5th. And I'll tell you, June 5th is an exciting day at Stampin' Up. There's a couple different things that are going on. And there's a really awesome sale that is starting today. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll make a cute project. Of course, if you're catching this part of the video, you are probably getting the replay. So welcome to our replay crew. We love you. Glad you're here. But if you're watching live, super glad you're here as well. Either way, please send up a heart. Click that thumbs up. Give us a reaction. That helps me in the algorithms of YouTube and Facebook. So I do upload this video from Facebook to YouTube. So if you're not following me over there, I do occasionally put some other content on YouTube that's not available on Facebook, and you can find me at Carrie Todd or at Stamp with CT. So welcome on in, you guys. It is June. So crazy. So crazy. You know, at work, I work at a clinic, and someone needed a 6-month follow-up, and that's December, you guys. That's the way math works and calendars work. But it was so funny because when the receptionist told the lady it was December, all of us kind of stopped and was like, wait, what? We are halfway through the year. So crazy. Okay, we are going to make a quick and cute project today. You guys know that I participate in a group of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. We swap cards, and it's run by my sweet friend Sharon. She does an amazing job running the swap. Super high quality, really good projects that I get back. I learned so much from these other demonstrators, and I get to share that with you then. So this was a submission that we sent in. The swaps are actually due tomorrow. We were well ahead of schedule, which always makes me happy. So this was our other submission. We made the card last week that said, "Hey, I miss your face." That was one of them. This is the other. And today we're going to go ahead and put another one of these together. And I'm going to share a little bit about the bundle that this friend comes from, and a little bit about this designer series paper. And then I also will tell you a little bit about the sale. So be sure to stick around to the end if you want to hear about how to get 10% more off of bundles this month. Okay, let's first look at the bundle. This is Friends for Life. It's a stamp die bundle. It was high on my wish list. We used it for the after party, which is basically an online class that we do. Dale and I, excuse me, we host it on the day of the launch party for the new catalog. Every time we have a new catalog, we have a launch party, a virtual launch party, and an after party. Just a way to craft a little bit more, dig deeper into usually a bundle, sometimes a technique. It's lots of fun, but this is the bundle we used. We made some really cute projects and kind of learned a little bit about the stamps and dies. This is one of the sets we saw demonstrated at our onstage event back in March, our convention that we fell in love with. It does have the 2 friend dies. So you've got, at the convention they called it Fat Friend and Skinny Friend. Anyway, you've got these 2 dies, they layer together, and it gives you this really cool effect when you do that. Now, we have also used this Skinny Friend and cut it out 3 times, glued them together to make what we call Chunky Friend, so that it gives some depth and dimension to that friend. But really cool dies, beautiful floral heart image, just a really cool set. So wanted to share that with you today. That's what we used. And then another workhorse in our craft room, other than stylish shapes, we do use these nested essentials dies a good bit. I especially use the rounded rectangle and the banner. Not this one as much, but I'm using it today. So wanted to share these with you. I like to share what we use in the craft room, what we get a lot of mileage from, a lot of use from the investment that we make in our products. And this is another one that we use a lot. Okay, We're also pulling in the Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper. I happened to catch a video on this suite that Stampin' Up! Put out. I'm going to share it this afternoon on my page because it gives a look through the eye of the artist that hand painted this Designer Series paper. And I just thought it was fascinating. So cool. She talked about the color combination that she used and the way that she designed the tile patterns so that it could be replicated across the 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. How she chose her color palette. It was just a really cool video, and then some very pretty samples that they share. So I'll post that for you this afternoon if you want to take a look at it. But this Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper, I've found that people feel strongly, one way or the other, about the fruit side. So you've got oranges and lemons. Now we have had a chance to travel to Italy. It's been years ago, but one of the things I do remember is the lemon trees and just how gorgeous it was there. So this really does bring back some memories for me. I'm hoping to do some scrapbooking with this paper with some pictures that I have from years ago in our travels. But let me just share with you, you've got the fruit side, but then you've also got the beautiful tile side that she designed in different scale. Isn't it lovely? And she talked about how she designed it in the different scale for a reason, and just how she designed it so that that could be, like I said, duplicated across a 12 by 12 piece of Designer Series paper, how the dies line up with some of the paper. It's a really good video. Beautiful paper. I love this paper. But if you're not crazy about the fruit, then you've always got that Night of Navy, boho blue, and balmy blue. Beautiful color combination in the tiles. Just so, so pretty. Okay, let's get started here. We've got a Night of Navy card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And you know, I always recommend reinforcing that score line with your bone folder. It just makes your card lay down nice and flat. And then I've got my inside panel. I'm not decorating, or I'm really not even stamping today. And that's okay. Sometimes we make a project using a die cut and we don't need to stamp, and that's okay. So I'm just going to put some glue, too much, but we'll go with that, on my inside panel and get that adhered down. This is just my method. I always, well, 99% of the time I start with my inside panel, get it adhered. Sometimes I put a little strip of the DSP, which would be very pretty. Sometimes I stamp. I know a lot of you decorate the inside, and I love that. Just not what I typically do, and that's okay. Okay, I'm going to set this aside a minute. I'm going to kind of build on this piece. This is going to take us a very short time today because I've done some of the work ahead of time. And of course, Dale helped me with this as well. So when we cut for the swaps, we were turning in 15 cards to be swapped and one for the host. And then we actually cut a couple of extra friends. And so Dale had already adhered these together. And I just thought I'd share with you. This is, of course, what it looks like when it's just adhered, the Night of Navy to the balmy blue. Now, we've done this with white cardstock, black cardstock. There's just so many options that you have. You can pull the colors from the DSP that you're using to make it coordinate, of course. And then he had already mounted this onto this die cut piece. So we're just going to be able to pop it on today, but just wanted you to see kind of how that layer worked. And I'm going to play around with positioning of this because of the way the paper is. Can't get it picked up off the table. The way the paper is. So I may bring this one up a little bit and just see where I like it to where it affects the pattern of the paper below it. So you see more of those tiles. We'll see. I may bring it up a little bit though. We did glue this straight down, and I'm trying to decide if I want to pop it up. I'll probably just glue it down. Let me grab some grid paper. If if I can find it. There it is. You can see I'm still using that piece where I stamped my hay that day. And this will just help me line up this die cut. Now I'll bring this one closer. You may be able to see that maybe a 1/16 of an inch on either side of the Designer Series paper shows. I'm okay with that. It doesn't meet quite to the edge. I could have trimmed the paper down, but I chose to just leave it alone and go with it. Alrighty. So what I may do is turn this upside down. That might make it easier for me. So I've got my camera up above and everything. And I just want to get my placement. Hope I'm not putting my head in the camera, but who knows? And there's a little bit more room on this piece. That's interesting. This piece of Designer Series paper. So we'll see if I cut that right. It should be 5 1/4 by 4. Always fun when we discover that I've made a mistake. You don't have to be perfect to craft, that's for sure. That's something you'll learn when you craft with me. Ways to fix boo-boos. And that you don't have to be perfect. That's probably going to end up almost at the same height, well, maybe not, as the other one. Okay, I'm going to quit messing with it and set this aside. And now we are just ready to put this piece on our card front. And I do think I cut it right. Could have very well used the other side of the Designer Series paper, and that would have been super pretty as well. I don't think you can really go wrong with this paper. And I just love the way that the lemon lolly and the night of navy, the yellow and the blue play together. So, so pretty. So we'll get an even border all the way around. Yeah, that's a little bit different placement than our other one. Not much though, but a little bit. That's okay. Now I'm going to bring in some embellishments, and I'm going to look and see. These are called Opal Rounds, the assortment, and they are part of the Mediterranean Blooms suite of products. So there's some Night of Navy, and it looks like I just have one of the little tiny ones left. And that is what we're going to pick up and use to dot the eye right here. Of course, you get a little microscopic die cut when you cut the friend out, but I've just been using a little embellishment to dot the eye. It's kind of hard to keep up with that tiny little piece of cardstock. And I like the way that looks to add a little embellishment. And it's one of the requirements in the swap that I participate in, so that worked out well for me. Now I'm going to put a little piece of this glitter ribbon. Just took the dimensional, oops, I don't want that on my card. I took a dimensional off of my ribbon, and it's been a little while since I've shared this tip with you. I hold the end of my ribbon, the tail of my ribbon, with a dimensional on the bolt when I'm storing it. And that just really keeps my ribbon at bay. Then I don't have a disaster twisted bunch of ribbon in my box. And I brought my box over so I can show you how I store my ribbon. It's been a while since I shared that, and thought that may be something fun for y'all to see today. Something fun to share. I always love seeing how people store things and do things in their craft room. I don't know where that little bit of ribbon went, but anyway, now what I'm going to do is catch the tail of that ribbon, put that dimensional right back on the end, and you can stick it to the ribbon itself. I've never had any trouble with it leaving adhesive behind and messing up the ribbon. Or you can stick it to the side of the bolt, the outside. I really like putting it to the inside of the bolt or the ribbon itself versus the outside, but you can do whatever works for you. And I'll show you my box in just a minute. I think I need to trim this guy just a tiny bit more to even it up. I didn't do a good job when I cut that, evening it up. Just a cute little knot that we're going to add with a glue dot. And that's going to add a little bit more sparkle. My cuckoo clock is way off, you guys. That's just a struggle we have, keeping that thing running and correct. Okay, so that, my friends, is our friend project, and then my original sample. So a little bit different spacing, a little bit different way that we put that friend on there, but I like both of them. Let me know what you guys think. If you love this paper, if you think it's neat to have the die cut that has the shadow image, I really, really like this one. All right, let me move that aside. I will bring in my ribbon box and just show you. This is one of those boxes you can get like at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Inexpensive shoe box, but it's nice and sturdy. It's not decorated or anything. I'm sure you could put some designer series paper on there, decorate it up. I haven't done that. Had these for a long time. So you can see all of my ribbon is just lined up nice and pretty. I can pop this other bolt in there. I don't worry about organizing it by color or anything like that. I like storing my ribbon this way because when I open the lid, I can see everything that I have. And by putting that dimensional on there, it keeps it under control. And I really, really like that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our giveaway for this week. Last week, we had this bolt of the black and vanilla gingham ribbon. One of my favorite ribbons. Wait, please, wait. So by random drawing, our winner from last week, she actually sent up either a heart or thumbs up, I can't remember, but it's Cheryl Randall. And Cheryl, I'm sorry if I mess up your last name, Merzenik, I think. Cheryl, if you will please send me a message, or you can email me at stampwithct@gmail.com and claim your prize, please, so we can get that in the mail to you, because I don't think that I have your address. So Cheryl, congratulations. Excited for you to get this bolt of ribbon. It is awesome. And then this week for our giveaway, I do have something that's retired, a really cute embellishment that a lot of the colors are still available, like the pecan pie, lemon lolly, bubble bath. So these are really cute, and it's still a great prize. So be sure to leave a comment, send up a heart, like this video, and that automatically enters you for a chance to win. I'll draw a winner next week. Okay, let me bring in my catalog and then some other visuals that I printed out so I can tell you a little bit about the sale that starts today. And Stampin' Up, I don't think I remember them doing part of this before. One of the things that is part of the sale is 10% off of bundles that are stamp die bundles. So I thought I would point you to the catalog. Let me look here. This is page 57, and that's where the bundles begin. And it's stamp die bundles, okay? It's not the ones with the punches. So when you go to the online store, you can type in the name or the number of the stamp die bundle, and it tells you the sale price. So just wanted to point you in the right direction of where you can find the bundles, and then you get to the encore, or the ones that are coming back. So if you have bundles on your wish list, this month is the time to add those to your cart. I love this sale. So that is what they're offering, is an extra 10%. You already get 10% off when you buy a bundle, but they're giving an extra 10% off of bundles. And this is the part that I don't know that I've seen them do before. They are also offering 10% off of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which we like to call the Mini Boss. Both awesome machines. We use both in our craft room all the time. I've had my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine since it very first came out, which I'm thinking is 4 or 5 years ago. Love it. It is such a great machine. I somehow chopped off the price when I went to the online store, but it's a $117 and some change. Normally it's $130, and then your mini is $59.40. And I can't remember, a little over $60 is what it is normally. So extra 10% off these two machines. This is through the end of the month. Remember, it's always going to be while supplies last. So if you have your heart set on something, go ahead and pick it up as soon as you can. You can head over to stampwithct.stampinup.net to look in my online store. And Friends for Life is one of the bundles that you can save an extra 10% on. Super exciting. All right, I think that is it. Let me know if you have any questions, if we can help in any way. Be glad to do that for you. And I hope that you'll meet me back here next Wednesday at 10 a.m. We've had a rainy morning here, but it does look like things are clearing up. So I think I need to let Oliver outside for a little bit to run around. Cheryl is coming to help me prep a class, an event that we have coming up this month. And so I hope you guys have a good, productive day and that you get a little bit of time to craft. Talk to you soon.